J.D. Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country.
Rudy Giuliani took a tumble yesterday while walking on the floor of the convention. He was helped to his feet.
We are now getting new details about the failed assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. But first, earlier today, a significant global tech outage caused widespread disruptions affecting various sectors, including airlines, banks, Las Vegas casinos, public transits. I mean, you name it. Portland, Oregon's mayor, Ted Wheeler, he declared an emergency due to the outage, which impacted the city's servers, employee computers, and emergency communications.
I'm so upset right now. There are 8 people in my party, 8 people, $456 a ticket, and they're giving me $100 back.
All the way down to Terminal 3.
At this time, we can't rebook or refund. The flight has canceled. Unfortunately, we can't rebook or refund anything.
What you mean you can't? Now, somebody get on the right. Now, somebody get on this plane or not?
Yes, we do.
All right. So everyone's gonna shut up, and we're gonna say this once, and we're only gonna say it again because we're frustrated as hell.
Now, the root of this problem was a defect in a content update from CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity firm which affected Microsoft's Windows operating system. Now, this led to the infamous blue screen of death for Microsoft users worldwide. Although various systems were restored, the effects of this outage could still be felt all throughout the weekend. CrowdStrike, known for its cyber services or cybersecurity services to over half of Fortune 500 companies, admitted responsibility. George Kurtz, CrowdStrike CEO, apologized for the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. He explained that the issue has been identified and resolved, and a solution was deployed. Kurtz assured that CrowdStrike was collaborating with affected customers to restore their systems and their services. He also warned that bad actors might exploit such incidents and urged vigilance. Now, we are now getting new details about the failed assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump and how a head tilt literally saved the man's life. A 3D analysis of the head movements during the shooting showed that he was mere inches away from getting He was a mere inches away from getting shot in the head. New footage has emerged revealing just how close Donald Trump came to death when he was shot at his Pennsylvania rally on July 13th. A computer-generated 3D visualization made by social media account Point Consciousness shows a bird's eye view of the bullet skimming Donald Trump's right ear right after the former president moved his head. So the 3D graphic also shows the path that the bullet would have taken if Donald Trump did not turn his head at the last second. The image has gone viral on social media, and many people are saying Donald Trump's survival was a miracle. Now, the footage shows 3 shots aimed at the president's head. They came one after another, and while I understand that we have different beliefs, many have actually called this an act of God for which he has been saved. Comment down below if you believe that Donald Trump was saved by God. Others haven't received it quite as warmly. Hollywood actor Mark Hamill, who we all know, he was a Star Wars he basically kind of mocked Donald Trump for the Star Wars look-alike related to Donald Trump's injury. Is kind of a really insensitive joke here. Anyway, a tweet, Hamill called the ear bandage of Donald Trump as oversized and that it wasn't needed prior to the RNC. So is this guy a doctor? I mean, like, how can he, try to determine whether or not Donald Trump's bandage was too much or, not enough? You know what I mean? Like, this is just unbelievable. His post on X has garnered a lot of blowback from some folks telling him to shut the F up. What do you guys think on that? By the way, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys' support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now, on the other hand, this bandage is it's uniting a lot of Republicans, even though many Democrats are still calling the shooting as staged. By the way, guys, hedge against inflation today. Text GOLD, GOLD, to 800-405-GOLD. Get up to $5,000 of free silver. Click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. I urge you guys to call my friends over at Priority Gold to find out how they can help you to diversify your savings with physical gold. Now, One of the three Biden supporters have actually been found to believe that the assassination attempt on Donald Trump was nothing more than a staged event. Can you believe this, guys? Dimitri Melhorn, the top political advisor to billionaire LinkedIn co-founder and Democratic donor Reid Hoffman, sent an email to multiple journalists after the incident. In it, Melhorn suggested that this shooting was staged to create a photo op for Donald Trump so that he can benefit from the alleged fake shooting. He has now since apologized for this email and said that he does not condone political violence. Unbelievable. How's that for putting your foot in your mouth, right? But this is where we're at here in our country, guys. I mean, this is the reality of 2024, where a former president can get shot at and others would ask why the shooter missed. Unbelievable. But like I say, guys, this is uniting the Republican Party at just the right time.
The former president walked into the convention arena like a prize fighter.
Look, it's like a Dana White walking down the UFC. That's the vibe it gives off, right? Like a fighter coming to the octagon.
And he probably noticed he was not the only one wearing a bandage on his ear. Delegates here on the floor are showing their solidarity with Trump following the assassination attempt last Saturday in Pennsylvania by wearing large bandages on their ears. This delegate, dressed as Uncle Sam, wore a bandage with the words, "Fight, fight, fight." The trend is growing. Tonight, the convention is throwing the spotlight on Trump's vice presidential pick, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, the author of the best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy. Vance turns 40 in August, and if elected, he'd be the third youngest Veep in U.S. history. The current vice president, Kamala Harris, called Vance to congratulate him on being picked. They also agreed to debate each other. Harris released this video slamming the choice.
J.D. Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country.
Now, Harris's team has already said that Vance would be a bad matchup for them in a debate, although they're confident that she'll do better compared to Joe Biden. Now, Kamala Harris, has also said that picking J.D. Vance was a way to distract the people, with the former president seemingly directing attention away from his record and Project 2025. Now, to date, Donald Trump has said that he has no idea who's behind this Project 2025 and says that he's not involved in it. Donald Trump's team also has not provided a date as to, now as for Harris and Vance's debate, that's kind of still up in the air, but we are expecting Joe Biden to make an announcement any day now that he's going to be stepping down. Donald Trump's spokesman, Brian Hughes, said that it would be unfair for Harris's possible VP if a debate date was scheduled without them knowing. Hughes pointed to Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, and Gretchen Whitmer as possible VP choices for Harris. Which now takes me to a very shocking survey, guys. According to a new Economist YouGov poll, 79% of Democrats said that they would approve of Vice President Kamala Harris in becoming the presidential nominee of their party if Biden decides to give way. Now, the same survey that shows that 28% of Democrats believe that Harris has a chance at beating Donald Trump, while less than 25% say the same about Biden. Now, speaking of presidential hopefuls, we got RFK Jr. recently apologizing to former President Donald Trump. Now, this came right after a private call between the two was leaked to the public. And you can hear Donald Trump in the call saying, "I would love for you to do something. And I think it'll be good for you. So, big for you. And we're going to win." To which RFK responded by saying, "Yeah." So many people believe, even though the two are political rivals, it's a partnership that could possibly work, with RFK Jr. possibly being included in Donald Trump's cabinet after he wins the presidency. What do you guys think about RFK Jr. being in Donald Trump's cabinet? Please comment down below. I want to hear from my community here today. Now, the conversation was recorded by an in-house videographer that continued to record as the calls transpired. Now, RFK Jr., he jumped on X, formerly known as Twitter, and he cleared things up by basically saying, hey, quote, I should have ordered the videographer to stop recording immediately. I am mortified that this was posted. I apologize to the president end quote. The footage was shared online by his son, Robert F. Kennedy III. According to him, he wanted to expose the former president's opinion on immunizations. Donald Trump believes that RFK Jr. would be an asset to any administration, but did not publicly say that it would be his. So you guys can make of that what you want. But related to that, Donald Trump, or actually related to that, current President Joe Biden has finally directed the U.S. Secret Service to protect the independent presidential candidate. Finally, right? So RFK Jr., he thanked the president, Joe Biden, for his gesture with Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, confirming that the president directed protection for Kennedy both prior to and after the failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Which now brings me to the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle. After the events that happened on almost a week ago now, it's crazy, in Pennsylvania, multiple former FBI and Secret Service agents blasted her for her refusal to step down from office. In a very heated moment, Senators Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, John Barrasso of Wyoming, James Langford of Oklahoma, and Kevin Kramer of North Dakota chased the Secret Service director through the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. All of them said that their questions surrounding the rally where they allowed Donald Trump on stage were not responded to properly. And as we all know, the Secret Service tagged the alleged shooter by the name of Thomas Matthew Crooks as a suspicious individual a full hour before the first shot was even fired. Now, despite this, they chose to have Donald Trump on stage at risk, knowing that this threat was out there, and continue with the rally. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Schwecker, I'm probably ruining his name. Ultimately, this assistant director from the FBI believes that the evidence behind this event will prove that Cheadle should be removed immediately. One of the pieces that critics are holding on to is the judgment from Cheadle to not place a sniper on the same roof as the shooter, as it was quote unquote sloped. Now, it's reported that the director plans to stay in her office despite calls for her resignation. We all know the very famous shot of the shooters from the Secret Service also being on a sloped roof, so her argument is really null and void. Now, I just want to kind of end things out with kind of like a highlight that really touched a lot of people recently. A World War II veteran made a speech during the RNC that drew a standing ovation. Sergeant William Peckrell, a D-Day survivor, delivered a speech where he said, "America, people say, is an idea, but I believe America is much more than that. America is our home." At 98 years old, Peckrell was quoted in saying that he would enlist again if former President Donald Trump was to return as our commander-in-chief. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Now, if you want a little bit more of a thorough rundown on Donald Trump's speech at the RNC, I did a previous video, guys. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link for you guys down below. Basically, in that, I cover all of that together with a shocking announcement from the former president. But as always, appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.